make the strings.
Dave, what are you doing?
Trying to figure out how this goes.
So I think it's been, I don't know, it's probably been about a year. I don't think it's been a year and a half. I think it's been about a year.
It's been a long time.
About a year, because I painted the car right before SEMA last year, and it's right before SEMA this year. So David is putting together the Ganador mirrors, attempting to put them together. These things are very complicated, so he's making a video about it. I got a little time lapse going right here, but hopefully we get that figured out, because I'd like to see how these things look on the car. Ty's taking a nap right here. He's trying to take a nap right there.
I'm tired.
And yeah, so Supra is hanging out, and it is ready for its power steering fluid. I stopped by O'Reilly's and I picked me up some of this, the Dex 3, and this stuff right here. So this is actually power steering fluid with conditioners in it. And if you guys ever have like a Ford Taurus or something like that, and it just like the power steering just whines like crazy, this is like the best stuff for you. So I run this stuff in my my drift car. Pretty much anything that I've ever had an issue with, like the pump whining, cause I think my pump whined in that. So I got the.
Get some of your subscribers some Lucas conditioner.
Some Lucas conditioner?
Yeah.
Just give it away?
No, you should just give some to your subscribers.
Oh, condition the subscribers because they're whining. Because they're whining, yeah. But so we got this done last night. So all the power steering should be hooked up. And got the nice little cooler up front. So I guess the only thing we need to do is fill it with some fluid, start it up, and see what she does.
Make sure it works. Don't leak. So update, Dave's got, you got one, Dave?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
So an hour and a half later, Dave's got one Ganador mirror.
Close. I think
and almost one to go.
I think there's some parts missing.
Oh, I guarantee there's parts missing because it's Trevor.
There's like only one of these, and there's one for each mirror, and then there's like only one of the pins.
Do you think Walmart has ring terminal things?
Yeah, I guarantee they do. Alright, so we're at Walmart. It is now. Hold on. 11:16 at night. And this is why nothing gets done.
I don't think we need it.
We could be like Mr. Big Boost and have a Wildberry Boost. Like his BMW?
How minis are they? Alright, so we're getting
Well, this is the only,
speakers.
this dual is the only double din that they have, but it has Bluetooth on it, so I think that'll be good for the
Supra.
Supra. Yeah.
Alright, do they have an install kit over here?
And the speakers, I kind of like the Scotch stuff.
Ford, GM, Ford, Chevy. Oh, Toyota, here you go, bud.
Oh, it's an install kit?
Oh, it's locked.
Back at the shop today, and I'm going to do a little testing, make sure that the alternator charges. I went ahead and ran the battery to the alternator last night, from the alternator to basically the post on the starter, and then ran a new battery cable from there, basically this one, and this is just kind of, again, temporary things. We need to double check and make sure that this thing is actually charging the battery now. Okay, so we're at 13.4, 13 something. So that's good that it's actually charging the battery. Again, a lot of still has a vacuum leak up front. Need to play with a couple of like the idle settings for the drive-by-wire. But yeah, this is just a temporary ground for here. I'm gonna go ahead and make another one out of the big, the actual nice stuff right there. Shortly, I need to put some sort of a circuit breaker in between here, or something like that, just in case it does end up arcing, because it is running underneath the car. But I do have it going through a grommet right there, and then basically tied up with the fuel lines. I don't know how safe that is. Get the door panels and speakers and stuff on. So I guess that might be part of today. But another thing that I would really like to do is go ahead and actually back the car out, hook up the ECU master, and start playing with a little bit more of the inputs and outputs, things like that. Mess with the idle a little bit. I do need to wire up the secondary fuel pump, hook up basically this stuff to the factory gauge wiring so that it'll tell me how much fuel I have. I would really like to get the tachometer working, and then since the CD09 or the JK40C, the 370Z transmission, it does not have a like a speed sensor signal on it. I think on the 350Zs and 370Zs it's in the diff. So there are some ABS sensors that I could actually basically tap into, give them some power and run the signal to the ECU. I should be able to then convert that in the ECU. I think, I'm not 100%, convert that in the ECU to an output signal that the dash should read. So hopefully we'll be able to get that stuff working. I'm not sure how far that's going to get today, but we're just going to kind of start buttoning things up. I don't know, it's kind of hard making videos, like interesting videos about this, but I mean that's just part of the process. I know you guys are here for the Supra. You want to see cool things, but I mean I just got to bring you along for pretty much everything, because not everything is the greatest. So we are still waiting on the wheels from Koenig. I believe those should be here by the end of the week, and we'll get the nice tires mounted on there. But man, look at that. That just gets me really excited. So I got the Supra outside, been playing with a little bit of tuning stuff, idle stuff. I finally figured out the table in here that kind of adjusts the drive-by-wire voltage when it's basically idling, so it has like the target idle. So we'll fire this guy up. Alright, so now I'm playing with the auto-tune thing. I don't know exactly what it's doing, if it's actually like correcting things or kind of what that's doing. But yeah, it's idling a lot better now. It's idling I think around 1200 or something, 1200. But man, this thing just sounds so nice though. I know I've given you guys this clip a couple times. I don't know if we've actually looked at the taillights like that at night. Got the headlights on, the fan running. Went ahead and I put the air filter on officially. So I got a little one-way check valve in here and a really ugly banjo bolt thing, just so that I actually have a brake booster vacuum. I can just probably pull that out of there. But I don't know. I kind of want to take it for a little drive and see what she's like. Not like any boost or anything, but just like drive it down the road. literally been almost 2 years to the day. I don't know if you guys don't remember when I got this thing. It was September last year. I don't know the exact date, but it reminded me 2 years ago, like the Facebook thing 2 years ago, like 2 days ago. So it's been a while. It's been a work in progress. It definitely hasn't been the primary focus of mine for the past 2 years, but it's coming together. I'm really stoked on this thing. Just I don't know how it's all turning out, and you know, all the companies I'm working with and the parts that I'm able to put on this thing, and I mean it's just crazy. So it's yeah. Today we hooked up the boost controller a little bit. David helped me actually pin it out into the harness. I went ahead, threw the intake on it. We obviously put some power steering fluid in there. I ran a one-way check valve and a temporary ugly little banjo bolt thing right there to make that work. Played with some settings on the ECU to get it to idle, and then actually basically scaled back the injectors and then up the fuel pressure so they're actually at 3 bar instead of at like 1.2 bar. Ran the battery cables to the back and you know, temporary grounds, things like that. So I think tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and really try to figure out that whole tachometer gauge cluster situation. There is some like an auxiliary wire harness that comes out of the ECU harness, and I just need the pins and the right like wires and stuff to hook that stuff up. But we have boost control now. Once I hook up another vacuum line, and then I'm gonna order one of those like can gauges that basically taps into the ECU master. ECU Master EMU Black. It has a can gauge or a can signal that it outputs, and basically I could hook into that and use like 12 different gauges, so I could have like air fuel, boost, fuel pressure, you know, target lambda, like target boost, you know, just a bunch of things like that, and I don't have to like buy a bunch of gauges. Literally it'll just be one. So you guys should be pretty stoked for that. I will be installing a radio and some speakers in here, and just pretty much just buttoning it up. I mean, I know this stuff really isn't the most interesting in the world, but hopefully you guys enjoy me taking you guys along for the ride. And man, it felt so good to drive it. I might not look excited, but it's been like 2 hours since I drove it. I've been messing with the video, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in a day or so. We're gonna get this thing on the dyno shortly.